Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, Plenty of Goodness. Hope you guys had a good and safe holiday and Happy New Year, Happy 2021. This year is going to be better than the last year. So I have positive vibes and positive hope for 2021. Okay, let's jump right into it. So this week, I still have a little bit of food left over, but I'm still going to make 3 meals for you guys. So today's first meal is going to be a tofu veggie casserole. So I went ahead and just got 1 packet of the extra firm tofu, and we're going to press this with paper towels and drain all the excess water for about 10 minutes. And then we got your baby bella mushrooms, 2 of the garbanzo beans canned, rinse them really well, and then your nutritional yeast for added flavor, protein, B vitamin 12, and it's like a cheesy flavor. And then we went ahead with your organic broccoli, frozen, just because it's a little bit easier. 1 organic red onion, and then we're going to use some vegetable broth. There is low sodium, but I don't like the low sodium. I just went with the regular. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is rinse the tofu and set that aside, and then cut the veggies. So I gave the tofu about 10 minutes to soak up all the water. I did add a little bit of 100% pure cornstarch, just to dry out the tofu a little bit more and make it a little bit crispy. So it's totally up to you, it's optional. Then I chopped the onion. You can chop it medium to chunky. And then I rinsed the mushrooms and the garbanzo beans. And then now we're going to layer the casserole. Okay, so first layer the tofu and then the onions. And then the chickpeas, the mushrooms, and the broccoli last. And then I did add spices. So I did add some pink salt, black pepper, paprika, and my famous adobo seasoning. And then this is totally optional, but I'm going to heat up the vegetable broth. 4 cups of vegetable broth and 4 tablespoons of nutritional yeast. Mix it till it's really well blended, till it heats up a little bit. And then we're going to pour it over the casserole. And then we're going to bake on 425 for 25 minutes, and we're going to cover it with parchment paper and foil, and then we're going to see how it looks at the end. I did check it at 25 minutes, and I put it in for a little bit longer. I probably used a little bit too much of the veggie broth, so 3 cups would probably be just fine for the veggie broth. But everything is cooked. It's not as crispy as I thought, but it's okay. That once this cools down, it will thicken up a little bit. And then I can always add cornstarch or potato starch to use as a thickener too. I could do that right now, or I could wait till it cools down and just eat it as is. So I'm excited for you guys to try this. Really, really high nutrient dense for you guys. And let me know what you think of the tofu veggie casserole. Yum! Okay, so meal prep 2 is going to be macadamia potato casserole. It looks like a really lot of ingredients, but we are going to make the sauce, so that's why a little bit of extra things for the ingredients. But I went ahead and got 6 small to medium red potatoes. That's going to be our base. And then I went ahead and got the eggplant. It's really hard to find organic eggplant, but this is not organic because of the number 4 on there. And then you can do zucchini or squash, so they had squash available, so that's what I got. And then I'm going to do some organic sweet corn, 1 bell pepper, some macadamia nuts, and you could do, I went ahead and got the French fried onions. They're gluten-free. It's really hard to find breadcrumbs that are gluten-free. So I just went ahead and got the French fried onions, which is still as good. And then for the sauce, for the casserole, we're gonna make some little bit of coconut, a little bit of vegetable broth, and I got the creamy dark roasted peanut butter. You could do tahini, but tahini is really expensive. We only need a little bit, 2 tablespoons of tahini. So I decided to go with peanut butter, and then we're gonna use a little bit of potato starch. And don't forget your organic minced garlic. Okay, so this is gonna be another casserole dish. So the first thing we're gonna do is wash and cut the veggies, and then the first thing, cut the potatoes. It took a little bit to prepare the vegetables. But not to worry, I believe in you guys. You can do it. So I cut the potatoes in quarters, and you want to cut them on the thinner side only because we're not pre-cooking them before we're baking them. So these are totally raw. This is just the way I prefer it. It's a little bit easier. And I do leave the skin on only because there's nutrients in the skin. You can peel the potatoes, so it's up to you. But the thinner you cut them, the better, and the faster they'll cook. They won't get, they'll be evenly cooked. And then cut the vegetables on the smaller side only because we have a lot to layer with the potatoes and the veggie. So I cut the squash in the quarters, and same with the eggplant and the bell pepper. And then now we're going to layer the casserole dish. We're going to do half potato veggie and then potato veggie, and then we're going to add the sauce. I actually did 2 cups of vegetable broth, 1 cup of coconut milk, 2 teaspoons of the tahini or creamy peanut butter, and you're going to bring it to a boil until the peanut butter melts. And then you're going to add a little bit of garlic and some seasonings. I added salt, paprika, and adobo. And then before you add the potato starch, you want to add a little bit in a small bowl with water first. It says it on the back of the package. This is to prevent clumping because you don't want to throw it in this pot because it will clump. It won't thicken. So disperse the potato starch in a little bowl first, and then whisk it. I added about probably 2 tablespoons, and then add it to the pot, and then stir until it's completely dissolved and starts thickening like a little gravy there. And then we're going to, if you have a food processor, I don't, I just have a blender, the Blendtec. You're going to add 4 4/4 of the macadamia nuts in the blender, and then we're just going to blend it until it crumbles like breadcrumbs. And then we're going to layer the rest of the veggies and potatoes in the casserole, and then the sauce. See, just like that, like little crumbles. And then we're going to layer the jar, preheat the oven to 390 Fahrenheit, and then we're going to cook the casserole uncovered for about 20 minutes. I layered the veggies and potatoes, and then the breadcrumbs, the fried crunchy onions, and then the sauce. And then you want to layer it and repeat. So potatoes, veggies, macadamia crumbles, fried crunchy onions, and the sauce, and then the crunchy onions on top for last. Look how beautiful that looks. So we're going to bake it in the oven uncovered for 20 minutes. We're going to check it at 20 minutes at 390 Fahrenheit. It actually took about 45 minutes. But it was perfect. I did up the temperature to 400 halfway through, another 15 minutes after the 20 minutes, and then another 10 minutes to equal 45 minutes. But it's super crispy, and just pierce it with the fork with the potatoes to see if they're done. That's when you will know. And after this cools down and settles, all the flavors will blend together really nicely, and you're gonna have a little bit of crunch, a little bit of nuttiness, and a little bit of sweetness from the corn, and savoriness from the broth, the sauce. Okay guys, let me know what you think of the macadamia and potato casserole. The last meal is going to be a lentil charred sweet potato curry. They didn't have sweet potato. This is a jewel yam, so they're pretty big, so I just got 1. That's going to be a lot. And then we have half a red onion, got some organic minced garlic, some Swiss chard. We're going to de-stem the chard and just use the leaves and chop them up. And then we're going to do 1 can of your organic lentils. And we have, you can get this from the bulk section if you only need a little bit, your ginger root. And then we have your spices, your turmeric, curry, garam masala, and your pink salt. And coconut milk. I ran out of vegetable broth, so we're just going to do coconut milk and the spices for the curry, and it's going to be delicious. So first thing we're going to do is cut and peel the yam and prep the veggies. So we're going to do 2 cups of brown basmati rice and 2 1/4 cups of alkaline water or filtered water. So then we're going to cook it for about 40 minutes, and then after this, then we'll start prepping the veggies. Okay, in a saucepan, you're going to add the onions. I add a little bit of coconut oil. saute them for about a minute or two until they're translucent on high. And then you're going to add the spices. You're going to add the salt, curry, turmeric, and garam masala. And then mix it till it well combined. And then you're going to add 2 tablespoons of garlic. Saute for another minute or so. And then we're going to add the sweet potatoes and the lentils. We're going to add 4 cups of coconut milk. And I added a little bit of oat milk just for something different. Spaz it up. And then we're going to bring it to a boil. Once it brings it to a boil, then we're going to cover, reduce the heat. Cover it now. And then once it brings to a boil, reduce the heat. And then you're going to cover it, but just leave a crack in the lid. And then we're going to simmer for 20 minutes till the sweet potatoes or the yams are done cooking. So the sweet potatoes or the yams weren't quite done yet, so I did add another 5 minutes. And then now I'm adding a little bit of lime juice and the chard. And we're just going to let the chard wilt. Don't overcook it. And then turn off the heat. And I already dispersed the rice into the mason jars. So after it cools down, then we're going to transfer everything to the jars. Alright, so after everything cooled down, transfer it to the jars evenly. Everything is going to blend and settle well once it cools down. I don't know if I would add anything extra to this dish. It's pretty complex. With all your curry spices and your coconut milk and your lentils and your chard. Even though it's only 1 cup of rice, I feel like it's going to be pretty substantial, pretty filling. The sweet potatoes or the yams are the good carbs, so is the brown rice. And let me know what you guys think of the lentil Swiss chard sweet potato curry. A little bit of sweetness, a little bit of crunch from the sweet potato, and it's super highly nutritious for you guys. Yum! Okay guys, so you finished another week of meal prep. Congratulations. To way to kick start off the new year. So we have your lentil chard sweet potato curry. Look how delicious that looks. Super highly nutrient dense foods, whole plant-based, that's what you guys are looking for. Then we have your macadamia potato casserole. And then we have your tofu veggie casserole. And maybe a little bit too much broth, but overall it did settle and thicken up from the nutritional yeast and from the cornstarch from the tofu. So I feel like it's really savory. You can add the fried onions on top if you want for an extra crunch, or you can even do like the chickpea little snack crunchies. I think these, you can add these for crunch on top, a little chickpea snack. So you can always do that, add avocado, but I really think that this is plenty enough food. And let me know what you guys think of each recipe, which one was your favorite, and don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to future videos of plant-based, gluten-free, vegan meal preps. Until next week, you guys, take care and stay motivated. See you later. Bye.